Alright people, what is good? Welcome back to a new video. So we've got a very different style one today. We're doing a bit of game analysis from my own performance when I played Watford last week. So this was my last game on my scholarship, so that has all finished now. And it was recorded, so I've managed to get my highlights from this to show you all my touches on the ball, off the ball. And today we're going to look at them together, and I'm just going to talk you through what I did, why I did it, with the sort of thought process that I had behind it. So as I said, we were playing Watford. It was a home game, and obviously because of all the corona, it's a bit weird with the kit. So we actually had to use our training kit for this game. That's why there's no numbers on the back of our shirts. So in this game, I just want to let you know we weren't a possession side. Watford are a very dominant possession side. They like to keep the ball and play it around. So we were more playing as the counter-attacking team, getting the ball, trying to move it quick, find the gaps, and yeah. In this game, I started off as a cam, and then I actually came off for the last 15 minutes of the first half and came back on later on as more of a deep line CDM role. Obviously, as it was last game of the season, everyone wants minutes. It was roll on, roll off, so we were just swapping. We outnumbered them. They had a couple injuries on the day, so we were trying to keep us all feeling good, getting a lot of rest time. But in the end, I think I played about 65, 70-ish minutes. Alright, so we'll get into the first clip now. So as you can see, the first clip, it starts off, the centre-back has got the ball in here. As I said, I'm playing the number 10, the more advanced midfielder. However, they were playing free in the middle, so I was finding myself man-marking a lot and just keeping up with my man to make sure he can't really do anything. So he's trying to play the ball down the wing, find the gaps. My man made a bit of an option to run. He gets the ball, but you can see I'm putting a lot of pressure on him. I made sure not to give him any space. You can see I'm literally grabbing him up, touching him to make sure he can't do anything. We force him to turn back, and we're like grabbing him so much, putting pressure on him, that we force a mistake out of him, which is really good. You can see we force him to go all the way back. He turns around, tries to play a pass to his other midfielder, but because of the pressure we were putting on him, it was a really dodgy pass. And then, yeah, my midfielder comes in, tries to play a quick ball over the top. As I said, we were trying to play quick football, counter-attack football. And, yeah, it leads to a sort of half chance for our striker. A bit hard to deal with. You can see the ball's bouncing around, but in the end, they do clear it. I've left this clip in just because, see, my midfielder's won the header there, but he thought that that was my header for the second ball. I can't lie, I did disagree with him on that. I don't personally see how that is my ball, because there's not really anything for me to flick on and do like a backwards header in behind. I don't want to play a forward header in here. It's a bit of a dangerous ball with him and him lurking around, so I just think that's his ball to go for again. But these miscommunications, they happen all the time in football. And yeah, I just wanted to leave that in to know what you lot thought of it. In the end, they do get a little ball over the top, but our centre-back cleans it up nicely. And then, yeah, you can see here again, he's telling the first header. I thought he did have a lot of time. So in this next clip, again, similar to the first one, you can see the centre-back's got the ball up here, and we are in here. And I'm just following my man, making sure he doesn't get on the ball. We're sticking it nice and tight to him, so that he is literally just not an option. Now we shift over with the play. This guy was trying it a lot in the game. I can't remember if he was a centre-back or right-back. I think he did alternate a little bit. But he tried that ball a lot, and he was good at it. But that was one of them that didn't work out. So our keeper's got the ball. He's tried to play it straight back up into the mixer. Now, at first, I wasn't too sure why my centre-mid let this bounce. But yeah, you can see the striker here has done well to drop in deep, and I am going to use that space. I was trying to just literally gamble on anything that could come, any flick on, any little mistake or a bounce. You can see here I pause it. And yeah, you can see me just running into the space, trying to get something, because I would be through on goal. Yeah, it's a bit of dodgy play. I turn my run around. I'm going to gamble on the second ball. And then a third time I try and gamble, but it's unlucky, nothing comes our way, and those things happen. I do manage to pick up the ball though. We receive it, turn away from our defender quite nicely, but as you can see just here as I pause it, my right winger was just offside, so I knew I couldn't play to him. So my first thought was to go back, to swing it around and come back the other way. because obviously I just come from the middle, so I knew all of this. They were back set up, and this was quite congested, so I didn't want to turn into it. But then as soon as I see this guy here, I know, oh, he's blocked out the passing and I can't do it. So I try a quick little turn in, but in the end the defender just does well to get a foot in. And yeah, I do win the team a throw-in. Now this is one of the things that I always do every single game. It's such a weird thing, but it honestly works. So you can see now the ball's out of play. I'm acting really slow. I'm looking like I'm not on it, and I even turn my back from the ball, acting like I'm really just disengaged from the play and I'm not interested in it at all. But at this point, I'm basically just trying to signal to the other team that I'm not a threat, so that they will like lower their guard, and they don't really care as much about picking me up. But I'm using this to try and scan in here. I noticed my other centre mid's done a good job to sit back and cover, but I'm trying to look in for I'm looking for one of the centre mids or someone to be in here. There was no one to play to. So instead I just stay a bit disengaged, don't look like I'm interacting with the play, and then I kind of draw this guy out there. You can just see I'm sort of walking back to try and draw him out, and then I use the space in here for the throw-in. So I try and quickly lose my man. I do get the ball, touch it down nicely, but again I just didn't get my body in the way of the man and the ball, so he just taps it out for a throw-in again. I just need to get my body in front of it better. I don't really think I had an opportunity to cross it, because he did get well to like get back and recover quickly. And then from this next throw-in, I didn't want my man to catch on to what I was doing too early on and catch on to my sort of play. So I didn't want this throw-in, but again, I'm going really slow. Every time the ball goes out of play, you really bring the tempo down, and then you can see I'm literally walking really slowly out of the play, just trying to take up the space for as long as possible. But then I quickly do a little signal, stick my arm out there, so you can see I'm now slowly walking out to try and use it up, and then I allow for my midfielder to come in and touch the ball. Bit of a dodgy touch, but he does well, and then we keep the ball and swing it round the other way, which was good. So then for this next one, their centre-back's got the ball, as you can see, and I am just in here in the gap. My man's coming in the space to try and receive the ball, so we're literally just keeping nice and tight to him, touching him on the back, giving him a little bit of a push just to force that mistake out of him. And in the end, he does get a mistake. The winger gets it, but just get a bit unlucky. Not great shielding there. And then I don't know how I've managed to pick up the ball here, to be totally honest. But I picked up the ball, and I can't lie. Here, I saw the keeper was very, very far off of his line. So my first thought was actually, let's try and have a shot here. But I saw how quickly he was backing up, so I decided not to go for the shot. Looking back on this, obviously everything's a learning experience. That's why we do these game analysis stuff. But it's so annoying looking back, because I don't know how, but I didn't spot my striker, and it probably was the best option just to slot him in nicely there. But in the end, just after I realised, that it wasn't really an option to shoot, my other centre mid, just behind the ref here, calls for the ball. So we play a little pass in. It was a bit dangerous because I did open up my body quite a lot. I take quite a long time on the ball, and I open up quite slowly, you see. So that was a bit dangerous. I expected my man to get a little touch in, but we do get the pass. And yeah, then at this point you can see we've played the ball out to the winger, and I'm back in my slow movement. I was basically waiting for my striker here to come out of the space, whether he drops in deep or where he goes, so that I could use the space and make a run into it. Because if he moves out, maybe he could drag a centre-back with him, and then suddenly I can run into it and one-on-one, or we slot the ball through and I can maybe get a shot off. But yeah, I didn't want to go I didn't want to accelerate too much because the space was all still taken up. But yeah, the striker didn't end up dropping deep, so I sort of just stayed the other way. You can see my centre mid left me, so I was kind of hoping for a little ball around the back, but that didn't happen. Just next clip, they've got a free kick, and I can't lie, I was quite confused from this clip, because for a team that likes a lot of possession, they play on the ball quite well. I was quite surprised of the lacking quality here from kind of both teams in a way. I know I don't like to talk my teammates stuff, but for a team that likes to be on possession, like I say, I expected a better pass from him, and then my midfielder sort of left his man. He's sort of not, my other midfielder's not involved in the play much. He's free. Maybe the striker should drop on him. Maybe that should be my job. But yeah, in the end, he just plays a poor pass, and I think I was the only one switched on. Because realistically, in most games, when everyone's at their best, I shouldn't be the one making that ball, but I do manage to make it, get a little toe poke to the winger. And then here, you can see I checked my shoulder. I was checking to see if the winger was on for a little ball, because I originally wanted the quick 1-2 straight back off the winger, maybe dribble at my man into the space here. I was seeing if my winger was on, like I said. But yeah, I didn't get the ball, and in the end, it was a little bit selfish from the winger, but it is what it is. He's a winger. He does his one-on-one stuff very well usually. And then here, I can't remember how we got this free kick, but you can see for corners, free kicks, everything, defending, attacking, my role was just to sit on the edge. If the ball falls to me, have a shot. If they try and break, try and slow the play down, basically. So we've swung in, quite a good ball to be fair, right in the danger area. But they have managed to clear it. They've rolled it out to their player here. And as you can see, he's got his only real passing option is this man on my left shoulder. I had scanned my shoulder, seen this guy on the left, and I knew unless this guy on the ball wanted to do something longer, maybe a long ball to his striker, as I say, he was his only option. So I was slowly coming over, trying to cut down his run while also eliminating the passing lane here. So yeah, you can see I was slowly coming over while trying to keep me in between the ball and this player, so that he can't play out and maybe play to the winger and get an attack going over there. But in the end, my striker does do a pretty good job to put pressure on him, and he does manage to get the pass off, but it's a fairly iffy ball. They do manage to get something from it, but in the end, the goalkeeper and the centre back just clear it up. So you can see my midfielder is just behind this white guy. He's sort of in no man's land. This other midfielder is also sort of in no man's land. We're not really man marking. So I was initially trying to press the ball. Let me just rewind it here quick. You can see I saw this guy on the right originally, and he was more to the left, so I came over trying to block this and play off the ball. Maybe if my centre mid was a bit higher, we could have cut it out, but in the end, I was just sort of running on my own, and they do bop it around us fairly easily. And then my centre mid steps up, and I obviously noticed that, so I have to sit back in the hole and just make sure that my man, when he's running to the edge of the box, that I stay goal side and just don't let him be an option on the edge of the box. And then this next clip is not what I can't really remember. Oh, I know. It's challenging. It's a bit dodgy, 50-50. The ball's falling around. And here, I'll freeze it here. You can see my leg is going up here. And I was basically trying to flick the ball up and over my own head and spin and turn onto it. But there was two of them. They sort of sandwiched me. And I just sort of got blocked out of the play. Which those things happen. I was doubled up on. So it wasn't too much I could do there. So this next clip, we've just lost the ball fairly easily, and they are going to want to turn out. You can see this is quite congested. Both of our midfielders are tucked over here. This man's sort of free. He's trying to break away. So again, I'm getting my body in the way of this passing lane, just completely blocking him out so that he can't be involved at all. So obviously, if I wasn't there, they would have just done a little simple pass to this man. You can see he looks for it to turn out here, but I'm just in the way, so we force him to play backwards there and slow the attack down, really. And then you can see from it, my man actually carries on his run, still trying to pick up the ball. I probably should have done a better job to stick a lot tighter to him. And here, he's probably not going to get a ball directly over me. I could probably block it out if they tried to get one over the top. And I was trying to do more of position marking and taking up the space, but looking back on it, it's a hard one. I probably should have stuck with the man, but let me know what you guys would have done. So yeah, they've had to restart the play again. This guy's on the ball. He likes to do his over the top balls, so I was still sat back nicely. Obviously my two centre mids We've sort of swapped with him. He's sitting slightly higher. I did win my header from this. It wasn't a great header. It kind of did fall to him. But in the end, my centre mid does do a very good job to come in and just nick the ball off him and then set us up for the attack. So this next one, I remember this very clearly from the game. So they've just won a corner. You can see it wasn't great. We headed it straight out. And here I'm the man running straight onto the ball. I did a very, very bad job because I was just trying to go and get an attack going. I was just trying to header it on into the space and accelerate onto it. But you can see I didn't really get over the ball. I was stuck underneath it. It was quite high up and I sort of underestimated how high I needed to jump. And so I don't really get the best of headers off in the end. I sort of header it straight to their centre-back. But you can see again, he was looking for this man over here to play a quick pass. But I just managed to block it straight out. Turn again. Get my body in front of the ball to shield it from him. And then we play a nice little one-touch pass to the winger. I'd like to see him accelerate a bit more, but he did a good choice in the end to fall back. Again, looking back in the game, I thought I wouldn't accelerate forward. You can see they've got 3 players across here. I don't want to just run straight into traffic. So I was sort of holding up my run a little bit and trying to stick with this space in here. Just in case he did drop out, which you can see the winger did cut back in the end. So I was here in the space. I checked my shoulder just to make sure there's no one behind me that could come in and nick the ball off me. And then I was going to try and run into this space, but in the end the pass just... it was a bit too in front, so I couldn't really get there. Here you can see they've got a throw in and the ball has just been headed back to the thrower. I knew he was in here, he's calling for the ball. So originally you can see I'm sort of shuffling off my man to try and drop right and try and block the pass with my foot. You can see I just put my foot out there to try and block it. But this guy, he misses the ball. You can't really see it because of the dugout, but he misses the ball and then he toe pokes it sort of to this guy who just managed to turn out and do a little dribble, and they win the throw in again. Nothing really came of that, so the next clip, he's received it in here, he's turned, he's looking to play a little ball to the centre mid who's making another run. And then you can see, I knew if he plays a through ball here, my centre-back here is cleaning that up very nicely. So the only real danger here was this man out wide, or if he decided to dribble at me a bit more. But in the end, he does decide to go for the early pass. And you can see, I don't know if I zoom it, I was so close, literally a hair away from getting a touch on the ball to block out that pass. So close, honestly, I couldn't pause it quick enough. But yeah, as I said, it falls nicely. I knew he would clean it up nicely if he tried the through ball. So I recognised this a bit congested. I knew there was space out here because he is the left back. He's so far in, so there's obviously going to be space behind me. So I'm sort of backpedaling into the space, receive it nicely, and then we're just driving forward. There wasn't too much on in the middle. You can see I'm sort of looking for someone in the space. There's no one really around. My midfielders are still quite deep. The winger isn't there. This is maybe an option. Our winger is very quick, so maybe I could have hit something over the top to him. But in the end, I decided to use the space, dribble into it, and then my striker did a really good job here. If you just watch my striker, he did a really good job here to recognise he was being marked in between. He lets them sort of run on and he just falls back, checks his shoulder, and I just play it. It's a nice ball into him. And again, I was kind of looking for the 1-2 straight in this space. Maybe I could dribble into here. But he tries something else. It works out well. We do get a little over the top ball. Just unfortunate with that touch, but those things happen. We win a corner from it. I won't moan too much about not getting the 1-2 because we do actually get our second goal of the game from that corner. So that put us 2-0 up in this game. And yeah, you can see me going over and celebrating there. But obviously you lot know the most dangerous scoreline in football is being 2-0 up. And you'll see why literally any minute. So then here you can sort of see this guy who likes his long balls is on the ball again. I can't really remember what happens too much. So on this clip, obviously from the past ones, when I've tried to dribble into the play earlier, this guy is clearly got the pace on me by a little bit. So rather than running straight for him and the ball, I've sort of arced my run to more cut off. You can see I turned just there. You can see here, about here, I'm starting to turn. There it is. I'm starting to turn a bit more. So rather than go straight to him, he would just knock it round me and do a curve run straight at goal. So I'm just cutting off the cross and forcing it back. I would have liked to see a bit more support from my left back, or maybe my winger dropping in, because that would have cut out this man. But in the end, I do force him to go back. I do a good job to keep my man not really doing anything dangerous. But as I said, my left back was sort of in no man's land. The winger maybe could have marked one of the two. And yeah, they ended up just playing back. And this was actually their second goal of the game. So he tried to feist me, by the way. That was outrageous. And then here they get their second goal. We were pretty annoyed about that. As I just said, 2-0 was the most dangerous score in football. And they've just brought it back to be 2-2. So, and then this next clip here, this guy clearly loves to be on the ball. You can see me in here just tracking my man. And as soon as he was taking a touch with the inside of his back foot like that, I knew that he was going to cut in. It's just I was sort of caught in two minds. My defender, my left back, was having a bit of a dodgy game. He's clear. I don't even know where my left back is at this point, if I'm honest. I think this is him behind me. So I was caught in two different minds. You can see there, I sort of alter. I'm like, do I go with the man? Do I go with the ball? Do I go with the winger? And in the end, I just literally make that split-second decision. My left back having a dodgy game. This man's free. So I went with the man instead of the ball, because realistically, they're marked up. He's in a 2v1 situation, and my defenders were having a decent game. So I backed my centre-backs to win the ball if he dribbled at them more than this man being free. So I end up winning it. You can see over here on the touchline, they weren't too happy with that decision. But in the end, it was the right decision, because nothing comes from it. We clear it up. Like I said earlier, this was the last game, so everyone wanted minutes, and they had a lot of injuries, so that we were just trying to stay fresh. So there was about 10, 15-ish minutes left of the first half, and this is when I came off. Second half, I'm about to come back on. As I said earlier, I think altogether I played about 65-ish minutes. But now when I'm coming back on, I played more of a deep line CDM role, because we were 4-2 down at this point. Like I said earlier, 2-0 was the worst score. So they came back from 2-0 down, 2-2. They had the confidence. We had the really low confidence. And we went into half-time being 4-2 down. So we need to come out fighting. And yeah, I'm not sure why the camera's tilted this bad, to be totally honest. But you can see me in here just picking up my man. They tried the ball. My centre-back does fairly well to header it down into the space. I can't really remember this too well. Oh, so here the ball's up in the air, and ball goes up in the air basically though. And I had a quick check on where these two players were to see if I could. There it was here. I've already done one, and this was my second quick glance, just to see where these two were. And based off of this, I could just tell that I was going to beat him to this ball. So obviously my winger is in here, my striker's there. I would have liked to see them gamble on this a bit more, like you saw me do, like one of the first clips in the first half. Yeah, I tried to get under the ball to do a little like looping sort of header, get some heart on it, lift it over the defence. In the end, it does come off nicely, but as I said, my winger just did not gamble on it for some reason. He stayed fairly flat-footed, so maybe if he would have gambled, that could have been a good chance. But yeah, it's a positive note for me. And then coming into this next clip, you just see we just won the throw-in from that. I'm showing for the throw-in here. I've noticed there's no real need for me to turn off as much on this one, because I'm not even getting marked at this point. I don't know where their centre mids are. I think this is him. But I'm not getting marked, so I'm showing for the throw-in. It was a fairly dodgy throw-in. You can see it didn't really fall to me nicely, so I've sort of had to do a bit of a hard job to get it down. It's bounced away from me. I've won the 50-50, and then I've turned in between the two players. And then you can see just a second ago, I looked up to see if there was anyone in the box to swing across in. We only had one player in the box. They had a couple defenders in. So I didn't want to swing it in and be a pointless ball where we were outnumbered. So I was basically trying to stall, hoping that someone would make a run or something. I tried a little fake cross to see what happened. He reacted. But in the end, I just end up dribbling into really nothing, losing the ball. But then I do have the determination to win it back though, which is really good. And I make sure to keep close to him and get hold of him. And I win the ball back, do a slight little nudge there just to pass the ball on to this guy. Because you can see these guys are moving up out of the play now because they think he's escaped with the ball. I've just nudged it away to our cam. And he tries to get a shot off. So for this one, they've just put the ball over the top. If my left back's ball, I know he's clearly going to win it. Heads it over nicely. And I just literally added this clip in just to show you, as a centre mid, it's not always about doing these amazing dribbles and taking on 10 players and banging it from 30 yards. Like, it's down to the simple things. So you can see my left back does well to get the ball round him, and I'm literally just covering for him now, making sure we shut up shop, because just in case he loses that ball and I push up, then suddenly in here it's a 2v1 and he could maybe get something off. You just never know. So I was just covering for the left back here, and then once the ball does fall back to the original left back who won the ball, you can see me here, I start to drop out wide to try and act as an option if we want to swing it. Maybe I can do a ball over here, but in the end he tries his own ball. So I literally just added this in as well. So you can see the play's going on over here, but now at this point we're just swapping back. I'm going and picking up my man to make sure that he can't get back involved with the play. And we actually do a good job. We put the ball through to our winger and he tucks it away. I'm not sure what's happened to the cameraman, if he's gone for a coffee or whatever, but there you go. You can see we got the goal. So this one, their winger has just picked up the ball. My fullback, he went in very, very rash. Loses the 50-50, which wasn't great for me. And then I'm literally just dropping in on my man. I could have been a bit tighter here, to be totally honest. I should have been tighter. But he's a little guy, and in the end, just me putting a bit of like physical, touching him, grabbing him up, we force him to go back, force a mistake out of him. So that was good. And then here, I can't lie, this clip did annoy me a little bit at the time. So you can see my left back's just playing the ball into the centre back, sorry. And look at the amount of space that I have here. It's literally like my pitch at this point. Like, I'm the only one here, yeah. So if you keep an eye on me, you can see I scan over here, 1 scan, 2 scan behind me. I do a scan in there, scan back over my shoulder here to see where my winger is, and then I also scan back over here so that I know I have all of this space. I know it's literally just me. So I'm expecting the ball into my feet now. You can see I'm calling for it, I'm asking for it, but the centre back just tries something. In the end, it's not a great ball. They end up clearing it, and now it's sort of a 50-50 run for me and this guy. We're both running for the ball, and I thought I was going to get done for pace here, I can't lie, but in the end I do manage. You can't really see it too clearly here, but I do manage to get the toe on it, and it wasn't our ball. I'm going to be totally honest. I got the little toe poke there, and I've poked it out of play. And but simply, yeah, all you've got to do on the pitch is be confident and don't even question the fact that it's your ball. You can see this guy, he's screaming for the ball, saying it's his, because he knows it's his ball. He knows I've touched it out. But because I'm confident in what I'm doing, and I'm acting as if, why wouldn't it be my ball? I know it's mine. You can see I just go pick up the ball. I don't even say anything, and I'm ready to take my throw in. The ref doesn't question it, and the ref gives it our way. Obviously, the ref isn't in a great position to know whether it is or isn't, but I think that was down to me being so certain that it was my ball and just like getting ready to take it, that he did give it to me. And you can see that guy was a bit frustrated with it, so he hits the ball out of my hand. And then in here, you can see I was just jogging away, but we've switched the play out. So I was getting into the space. I've just checked my shoulder to check in there. And then we also check up here just to make sure we're all in good space. I saw it was quite congested around here. There's 1, 2, sort of 3. We'll say these 3 are in the play. So maybe I received the ball. I don't know why, but at the time, I just didn't back this guy to get the ball. If I would have done a one-touch pass, I just thought that this guy would have had him and like won the ball back, because you can see he is fairly closer. So what I was trying to do here was take my touch in, drop my shoulder, and then you can see I was going to turn out and swing it back either to him or the left back and go the other way. You can see I try and turn back, but in the end, this clip sums up my game. It wasn't technically very good for me. On the ball, I was quite poor, if I'm totally honest. I didn't do too much on the ball. That's why there's not really too many on the ball clips in here, because I didn't do loads. And as I said, we weren't even a possession team, so that led to me not having the chance to get into the game really like that anyway. But yeah, it was quite poor from me. I try and turn away. He gets a little toe on it, which he shouldn't be getting. Look at the size of me compared to him. I should be getting my body in the way. And then this guy, at this point, I'm panicking. My centre-back's caught out here. He put full trust in me, which he should have. I should have won that. I'm thinking this guy is just going to sprint into this space. So I'm trying to quickly get back in, get in a defensive position to try and defend. But as you can see, he literally just rolled me. He absolutely rolls me. And then at this point, I sort of lost my head a little bit, because I was like in full panic mode, thinking he's going to dribble. He's turned me. I've just been done. So I quickly turn around, and he's just done me again, boys. He just has done me again. And that's horrible to watch back. I can't lie. That's actually embarrassing. But in the end, you can see I'm grabbing him up, and I just give away an easy free kick just to slow down the play. And then this next clip, obviously, I'm playing more of a deep line centre mid CDM role. So my centre back's just come up to challenge for the ball. So now there's no free man in here really. He's making sort of a run, so I'm just dropping in, making sure to cut out the play here. Again, I should be doing a better job to keep up with the man, because if he slots in a good ball here, we're in big trouble. But I just didn't get back quick enough. And in the end, it kind of falls nicely for me. But I'll say now, I would never ever recommend, like you can see me here, I've got my back to the ball. Never do that. That was a big mistake from me. I just knew that I was beating this guy, because obviously he is the other side of me. You can see here I let him get a bit ahead, so I knew even if I turn my back, he's way too far ahead of me for me not to win this ball. So I've turned around and I've toe poked it to our centre mid so that he can like go on and try get something. At this point, boys, you know, like I said earlier, we were 4-2 down at half time, and I said we needed to come out fighting. Well, this goal, it wasn't even caught on camera for some reason, but this goal put us 5-4 up. So what a roller coaster of a game. We've gone 2-0 up, then 2-2, then 4-2 down, and now we're winning 5-4. So you can see me in here, I'm literally just sticking on my man in case it breaks up. We get a little ball through to the guy over here, and he scores it. And obviously, this is the last game of the season. We've just gone 5-4 up and we're 4-2 down. So we're all running over and we bundle. Nothing really happened on this clip. I just thought I'd add it in because it's quite funny. It's really sick to watch. And then this next clip, you can see I'm in here. I'm sort of on this man. He's got the ball out here. And I just do a little job. I probably should be the other side of this man, but I knew the sort of setup we had, we'd be all right. So me and the other centre mid, we just did a good job. It doesn't really look like we did it here, but we were basically just cutting out the passing lane so that he was not an option to be played to. And then in the end, at this point, we were 5-4 up. Our defenders just hoofed it up the top because we're just playing for the win at this point. We want these 3 points to end off the season. So literally last 10, we just hoofed it straight up. So they've got a throw in quite late on it in the game, and it didn't catch it on camera, but my striker is somewhere up here in the space. So just keep that in mind. So they've done a throw in, they've tried to get it over the top, get a little flick on. I'm not sure why they didn't overload the box, to be honest. But you can see the defender clears it, falls to me, and as I just said, I knew my striker was up here. So I just clipped the ball quite nicely over the top to him. He's taken a good touch, to be fair, into the space. But you can see they're really congested. At this point, they want to win the ball back and go on a counter-attack. They're 5-4 down. There's not long to go. And this is one of the clips I thought I was actually going to score in. Make it 6-4. So you can see they've got, 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 5 players there. Their left back is over here. And we've got the throw in, so it's really, really congested in here, and I've been sort of just left on my own and forgotten about. So I haven't wanted to like say anything, because I'm sort of, you can see me, I'm just walking around trying to sneak around the back, and I call for the ball over the top of this whole group. So you can see we've got the throw in here. We get a nice throw in over the top, but he does well again to recover. And then, yeah, you can see the ball does fall back down then nicely for me. Like I said earlier, you can see the ball hasn't even been played yet, but you see me here, I'm just dropping my shoulder ready to gamble just in case that ball comes to me. And it actually does end up coming for me, but the left back does a really good job. Look, you can see if I pull it back that the left back is the only person who notices me sneaking up in this space. So when he realises I'm calling for it, you can see he's now getting back in position to make sure I'm not a problem. He's panicking at this point. So then, yeah, I didn't know he was here. I thought he was still over. I probably should have been more aware. And in the end, the ball falls to me. I thought at this point I would be one-on-one and literally score, because I'm scoring from there if this guy isn't here. But he just kind of flicks it over me, and then they get the clearance. They go on the counter-attack, but nothing really comes from that. And in the end, boys, we won that game 5-4. So, like I said, if you couldn't really guess from that game, honestly, I didn't have a great game. I did feel like I was one step ahead mentally and psychologically, all that stuff, than my opponents. But my technical side, my on the ball touches just really let me down this game. But I thought I would still put these game highlights out just so you can all see a bit more about me, because it's important to know that these games do happen. We're not going to have the perfect game every single time. I would still say it, honestly, it's probably a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10 performance, just because I really wasn't great on the ball. But yeah, as I say, we did end up winning that game 5-4. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've known a bit more about me. Maybe if any of you are sentiments out there, you can learn a bit more about my thought process and improve your own at home. I do feel like I've got a good football IQ and I can read the game fairly well. Yeah, so I do really hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to drop a subscribe, hit that like button. We've got big things coming soon for the channel, so make sure you stick around for them. I'm not sure when I can get my next game analysis video out, because obviously this was the last game of the season, so minimum we're gonna have to wait until like September, when, or I suppose I could get some pre-season friendlies done. But yeah, just make sure you turn on your notifications then and keep on an eye out for them. But anyway, for now, I'm gonna go like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.